many people doing GMAT these days. That's one of the reasons.
I can rarely find anyone who is doing GMAT.
GMAT.
Everyone is busy with doing GRE.
GRE, just think about many years back, say 7 to 8 years back. What happened? There used to be so many people. Say I had. Okay, so things have changed. Okay, so let's go over some questions from where I'm going to ask you a few questions, and so we can start, huh?
Okay, sir.
Just a moment. Yes. Okay, so let's start with some speaking practice. Huh? We're going to do some speaking practice first, and okay, let me ask you a few questions from here first.
Sure, sir.
And then okay, there could be a few, say, I'm going to ask you, what is the fourth question? What's your name?
Sir, my name is Mohammed Salman Rashid.
By what name should I call you?
You may call me by Salman.
Okay, just a moment. Okay, so, and what subject have you studied?
I have studied my undergraduate on. I have studied a Bachelor's of Business Administration program in finance, and my major subject as it was finance. So I have very much knowledge about that subject, and I have also done other subjects such as economics, statistics, and some of the English courses.
Okay, so why did you want to study this subject in a business? Is there any particular reason for that?
Actually, since I was a student of business since my childhood, since class 9, 10, and my HSC was also from business background. That's why I have chosen BBA as my destination, final destination.
Okay, so how often do you watch television?
I don't watch television that much, but whenever I get time, such as when I wake up early in the morning, I just put the remote and get the TV on, and I watch television. And especially, I watch the English TV series such as How I Met Your Mother and Blackish most often.
Okay, good. So, is there anything you suggest that they change about television in Bangladesh? Any the kind of program they show or focus on anything like sports and games like many other countries?
I think we should telecast some of the reality shows for the children and the adults as well, because most of the people in our country, they are very used to watching the Hindi television channels for their entertainment, for their recreation. And I think there is a lack of Bangladeshi channels that telecast some sort of programs containing educational and other materials for children as well as for adults.
Okay, fine. Okay, so how are you, Arena? Are you there, Arena? Hello, Arena.
I'm here.
Okay, so you're ready to speak out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, how are you today? Fine?
I'm fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, let us. Hello, Noyan. How are you,
Yes.
Noyan? Hi, Noyan, are you there? Noyan, you can hear me? Okay. So, Irina, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Why? Um, do you
Yes.
think that people eat healthier food than they did in the past now? Do you think? Okay.
No,
Or,
sir.
or, or what do you think? After the corona, this if it's over, uh, think about you. You'll be having more. You'll be going more often to restaurants, or what might happen? Will it change the way people live?
People eat healthier food now because they are at home. They can't go out, so they can't eat junk food like pizza, burger. So I guess now people are eating healthier food in home.
Okay. So have you put on some more weight, or you have
No,
lost some
sir.
weight?
No, sir. I have lost some weight.
You have lost.
This, sir. I'm utilizing this time. So
Okay. Okay. Good.
I'm doing workout in
You're
home
doing
so
workout.
that I
That's
can
good.
keep in fit.
Okay. But are you eating less? Are you
Uh,
fasting or eating
like
less also?
like sir, eating less. Like I'm eating less fatty food like sugar,
Sugar. Okay.
carbohydrate food.
Fine. Anything you are drinking or eating more than you used to because for the lockdown?
Yes,
Anything?
sir. I'm eating more and more water, drinking water like because water is very helpful for health. It keeps you hydrated body.
Okay. Good.
So then
Good.
you can eat, yeah, you can drink many fruit juice like uh, Malta. This contains vitamin C, which is good for you now
Okay.
this time.
Fine. Fine. Noyan, are you there? Can you listen to me? Noyan? Hello? Noyan? Okay. Are you ready to give some answers if I ask you? Can you hear me? Do you have?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Probably Noyan doesn't have one. He doesn't have the speaker, probably. So, Salman, let me ask you, how important do you think it's for families to eat meals together? I think it's
Sorry.
it's it's happening more now during the lockdown. We are eating meals together more often.
Yes, sir. More often we are having meal together because my father is not going to his office on a daily basis as he used to do in past before the coronavirus appears.
Hmm.
And I think it feels good when all of us having or eating food together because it was not happening before the current days.
Okay. Uh, uh, Let me ask you to Arena.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you think that food prepared at home is always, focus on this word, always better than in restaurants? Why or why not? Do you think
Yes,
that food
sir.
prepared at home?
Yes, sir. Home food is much healthier and better than restaurants because we use pure oils like no used oil. Are in
Okay, fine.
restaurants they used oil again and again. Same oil, same fried oil
Okay,
again
and
and
anything else? Anything? What about taste?
again.
Do you
Like
think it's more tasty, when you cook at home, or the food in restaurants are more tastier? What do you think?
sir, sometimes it obviously differs. Like we the Bengalis made best Bengali foods in home, but as fast food or junk food, I think restaurants makes better junk food. So
Better
if
junk food.
compare,
Okay.
even not like that, we made junk food at home is less tastier, but I guess it to 1920 difference, like it much
1920.
better it to restaurants.
Do you think the restaurants, they add up anything, any kind of, different stuff and additives that makes it more tastier? Do they have
Uh,
some secret ingredient in some cases? Does it happen like that, or no? Or not really?
Sir, can you ask me again?
No, I'm
I
saying
didn't
that,
hear.
do they have any kind of special additives You know, say in Kachi biryani, they have special moshla, you know,
Yes,
condiments.
sir. They have
You know,
like every restaurant has different taste. Like on burger or pizza, they use different
some
type
kind of
of
cigarette.
spices in that that
Okay,
makes different them.
okay, they have some kind of
Yes, sir.
cigarette.
Secrets.
Okay, okay. So, do you think after you know the lockdown is over, if everything is settled down, huh?
Yes.
So do you think that uh, people will go to restaurant more or less? And after this, you know, Corona
Uh,
pandemic is over, just think about
like
it's over.
sir, depends. It depends on people's mind or choices. Uh, like now we say that after lockdown we'll go restaurant and eat more and more junk food. But I can say 100% please that I will go restaurant and eat restaurant foods daily because I think eating homemade food is keep me healthier and safe.
Sir, as for me, I will go to restaurant and I think I will live there for 15 days or a month because I missed the food very very much.
Okay, okay,
Sir, the same case is for me. I will also go to the restaurants and have my favorite delicious foods.
okay. Hello, Mahi is there? Mahi, can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
I
okay.
can.
Welcome. So you didn't have much problem, you know, getting, you know, just getting connected,
No,
getting
no,
into
no.
Zoom. Okay, okay.
Today is
Thank you.
okay.
Okay, so you know what happened in New Zealand? Probably they had a big line in Burger King. Even in Burger King, you know, burger is not his favorite one, but I'm not saying it's the most favorite. But you know, people were flocking in, you know, because they were. What that might happen? Think about what about pizza? Our Domino's, they will have problem, what controlling the crowd.
So
More,
definitely, I think,
more people
yeah,
will go.
yeah, maintaining the social distance will be a challenge in the
In the
yeah
restaurant
abandoned yeah in
sector.
the yeah in the famous restaurant like you just said in the Domino's or Burger King or maybe in Burger Express. But I
Okay.
think they can handle it because yeah they have a strict protocol to maintain the social distance as the guideline of our government's guideline. So I think yeah it might be a challenge, but it will be maintained. I hope so.
Okay, it will be maintained. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you let me ask you a few questions. Uh, we have lots of questions. So how are you, Tasnia? Are you fine? We had one student, you know, who was not feeling well the other day. You know, she was saying that she had, you know, say she might have corona. Is she there or no? No, she's not there probably. Okay. Okay, fine. Mahmudul, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm just
Okay.
coming. Come.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you a few questions.
Uh,
Is it a good idea to stay in the same job your whole life or to try different things? What do you think?
Sir,
What
for
will
me,
you do?
I might like to choose job after 3 or 4 years later. But you have to you have to experience different job task in different like uh,
Okay, okay. So what's the advantages if you keep on? What's the advantage disadvantage? You can tell me. What's the biggest advantage of changing jobs?
big as I think it the compensation will be higher if you switch job definitely.
Sometimes, okay,
Yeah,
yes, in most of the cases,
and
other than
and you have to assign different kinds of activities so that you can earn extra value to your career by doing different kinds of
okay.
activities.
So once you have work in one place for a considerable time, then you shift. Then what happens? You also learn more.
More, yeah.
You know more. So because you have already become quite good in your previous job, you know what ins and outs. Okay, so say whom I can ask. Mahi, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So is there any generation gap problem in your, not problem, in your family? Any generation, you know, because the youngsters and the older people in your family, do they disagree on some issue, or, you know, they get along well?
Okay, it depends, sir. Depends on different
No,
person.
I'm
Because
talking about your family. Your family,
yeah,
is there any problem?
my family has also different person with my brother and
Hmm.
a mother and father. So they had some different opinion about
Okay.
generation gap, whatever you wear, whatever you
Hmm.
take food or something else. So yes, they have some generation gap issue.
Okay. So Fazlur Rabbi, do you think this generation gap, what about your family? You know, is it a
My,
problem?
sorry, sir. Can you ask the question again?
Okay, now I'm saying that generation gap. Sometimes the older people, they think
Oh,
differently.
okay.
The
Yeah,
youngsters.
yeah.
So is there any problem? Do you encounter?
Some
Do you find
sometimes
any
it
problem there?
sometimes it's enjoyable, but to the extent most of the time, yeah, it makes a big difference to understanding between us, because sometimes my dad is always telling me like, why don't you go to sleep early and wake up early. It's my habit in our generation. I think we are used to go to bed late, and we also wake up late, and we don't have fond of reading
Okay.
newspaper or
What?
magazine like the
Okay. What about your mother? You know, is it the same,
uh
or she's
yeah.
more liberal from this
I
perspective?
think my mother is more liberal than my father. She don't bother at all. Sometimes our activities is. She is just the only thing care about our health
Okay.
and our well-being. That's it. As for other activities, or she is always busy with her household chores, and I think she gave us more freedom than our father. But we are friendly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So.
But as for a choice, like if I am choosing a movie right now, they don't actually both of them don't actually choose a movie in a modern movie. Rather than they choose the vintage movie consist of Uttam Kumar or Suchitra Sen. Yeah, they
Okay.
like them most. Yeah, and as for choosing any song, though they don't they really don't appreciate rap song or melody song right
Okay.
now we hear.
Fine. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
Hello.
is
Hello.
the
Oh, Tasnia, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tasnia. Okay. Do you often look? How often do you look in the mirror? Or during this lockdown, do you look at the mirror more often than the other time? You know, before the lockdown, for any reason?
Sir,
Okay. One thing could
anything.
be, you know,
Yeah.
when we wash our hands, we usually look at the mirror.
No,
Usually,
sir.
during
anybody?
brushing and during wash our hands. Sometime when we
Sometimes.
prepare for going to house work or
Uh,
school or college, we eventually it's a reflex, a lighter reflex. So we just
but
look at the
now,
mirror.
when we are washing our hands more often, are we looking at the mirror more often?
At the time of
Huh?
washing hands, actually, it's unusual to every time look at the mirror and see myself, and yeah,
Okay.
so it's not that usual.
Okay. So fine. Okay. Let me ask you a few. Uh, say, whom can I ask? Let me ask Mr. Salman Rashid. Salman,
Yes,
can I
sir.
ask you that if you're given a chance, are you willing to change your name? You know, a
Um,
fancy name, much more fancier name. Anything
uh,
like that?
if I given a chance in social media, I will definitely change my name. And in fact, I have changed my name in Facebook. I have not used
Okay.
this. I'm not using the same name as my real name is. So I would
Okay.
definitely change my name if I get a chance in case of Facebook or in case of Instagram or other some social sites.
Okay. So if you say if you are given an opportunity to become a movie star in say Bollywood, are you going to keep your same name or change it?
Oh, I will add something to my name or remove something. And if it is not fitted to be a Bollywood star,
Okay.
And I think the producer or the director will suggest me some good names if they have a problem with my name.
So Irina, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Irina, so do you think that, you know, after this, if I think still if, big if, say after this corona epidemic is over, people in general will become more sensitive to nature, you know, the preservation of nature?
Yes,
Are
sir.
we
They will.
going to become better person? Is there any chance, or it's not going to happen? What do you think?
Sir,
You know,
there are
when
50-50 chance. Because
50-50.
Bengalis will never change. Those now we can see like in this corona critical situation, people are going outside. They are going their hometown to celebrate it. It's not like that. That's why corona is increasing day by day.
Okay,
So
so
I don't think that people will change. So that's 50-50. Now uh, uh, we are like the now who are saving themselves, like don't go outside or don't go somewhere else, so we can keep them ourselves like this. But যারা মানে
okay, so do you think
can't
this
say.
corona will make us better human being? You know, has made us better human being, more compassionate about many things. Is there any chance, or you know, once it's over, if it's over, you know, everybody will forget about that? What do you think? Anybody?
Sir, yeah, I voluntarily like to answer this question.
Mhm.
As for me, sir, some of my friends, yeah, from other countries, they just say, yeah, for now we are at least a better human being because we are not causing any trouble to the other animals and we are not contributing to the global warmings. You know, the animals are in interest for now at least. But after the corona, to some extent, we don't know how, to what extent we will maintain our humanity. Towards the global warming or the breaking the CFC layer or any other compassionate feelings about the animals. But till now, I think it may changes our attitude towards them and
Okay,
towards us also. Yeah.
okay, good. Mustasim, Nihal, are you there? Nihal, are you there?
Yes,
Nihal?
sir. I have
Okay,
just joined the class.
okay. How are you? Fine? Nihal, how are you?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Okay. Nihal, okay, let me ask you, you know, just you're still in lockdown, huh? Are you or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So have you got some time to look into you, and you know, has it changed in a different way that you have got that time to look into you, and any kind of realization, different kind of understanding about yourself or your relationship with, has it occurred, anything like that, something different, or no, it has been same?
It's been the same during the whole lockdown period. I mean, I'm just starting to look at my career options at now.
Okay.
I'm utilizing the time
Yeah,
to
time.
do
Mostly,
some.
okay, you're focused. So have you been able to do something productive, you think? Productive, you know, apart from just spending time? Have you done any kind of online courses or anything like that? Have you done it or no? Not really.
No, sir. Just I've just joined an IELTS class for that
Okay.
reason.
Okay. Fine. So Rumana, are you there? Rumana, are you there? Hello. Okay. Mr. Mizan, are you there? Mizan Bhai, are you there? Okay. So who would like to speak out? Anybody?
Yeah, of course, sir.
Okay. So what about, you know, the death of one of the superstar, not superstar, you know,
Rising superstar.
the rising superstar. You know, how do you feel about that? You know, no, we are already having a big problem in our country. Thousands of people are dying, but still,
Yeah.
people are interested about movie stars and everything. You know. So, you know, that one, what's his name? Rajput or what? No.
Sushant Singh Rajput.
Sushant.
Sushant Singh
Okay.
Rajput.
Sushant. And was he popular?
Of course. to
Yeah,
some extent
yes,
he is
sir.
popular.
Yes,
He's
sir.
He was
He was
popular
one of my favorite actors.
since the drama Pavitra
Especially
Rishta.
or that Dhoni stuff, or which one?
MS Dhoni.
MS
After,
Dhoni. Okay.
after signing for MS Dhoni, he has become more popular.
More
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
More popular.
Sir, his
So-
first show on TV was Star Plus. Is Desh Mein Hai Mera Dil. It was
Okay.
supporting role.
Supporting role.
Then
Then he
Kapoor
became.
offered him as the lead actor as Pavitra Rishta drama
Okay.
serial. Then
So-
he became a movie
So
star. And
what could be the reason? So he was having problem probably. He was having flop
yes, sir,
films.
since 6
Is it the
months
reason?
he has been
Was
suffering
it?
from depression.
Do you think that because they need to handle it? It's very difficult. If you
Sure,
have.
this is not actually the first example, because we if we've seen the past, that Benning Chester in Linkin Park also, Robin Williams and many famous actors
Okay,
just
okay. They also.
did it. Yeah, because
But-
in this situation actually we learn many things in our materialistic world, but we can't deal with our depression and our frustration, though we
But do you think this Corona lockdown had anything to do with that?
maybe, of course, if
Yes,
someone
sir.
is confined
Most
to
of the
a
people don't have
con-
to do anything right now. They are just keep themselves inside their houses, and many kinds of frustration getting them. So, for
And these
example,
people are very, very creative people.
yeah,
We people, we are not that much. We are creative, but you get my point. They need recognition. They need. We
sir,
have
I
a different.
really for me, sir, I really shocked when I heard the news that he has committed suicide. So recently, I have watched his one of the film called Sichore. So if
Sichore,
one of
okay.
if one of the film acted by, he was the leading role, has the leading role, and the movie's theme was how to deal with depression and not to commit suicide.
Oh yes. I heard
So,
that.
and yeah,
It's
so
kind of very,
it's kind of
very.
a motivational movie for people who has gone through the depression or
Okay.
something like this. So
Fine.
how this kind of actor did the same thing after
This is
have
very
that
sad.
leading role, this kind of movie. So
Yes, very sad. Okay, Reza, are you there, Mr. Kaushik Reza? Are you there? Kaushik Reza, are you there? Can I ask you a few questions? Anybody? Kaushik? Okay, Rumana, are you there? Rumana?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I ask you? Let me ask you. So, do you read newspapers or do you watch news on internet or television? News? Are you into news? Are you into news?
Yes, sir. I'm into news.
You are into news. What kind of?
I read newspaper. I read the internet news from internet, and also I watch television for news.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you ever discuss news with your friends? I understand you read news, but do you
Yes, sure.
discuss this later on with whom? And what was the last time you talked about a news with your friends? Any kind of news?
I actually yesterday last night I discussed about the news about with my husband. The news was that about the lockdown in Bangladesh. Actually, we are worried about that. So many numbers are increasing of COVID-19 people, and so we are just thinking that if the government can go for lockdown again, and then can be the numbers can be decreased. And we are discussing about the red zones, where the red
Okay.
zones of Bangladesh, of Dhaka city.
Okay. So still we are worried, huh? Still, because nothing concrete. What needs to be done. They're trying. Everybody's trying. Still in trying stage. And even in India, things are also. I think it's getting worse.
Is getting
That's also
worse.
another thing, because we sometimes compare with India, because the social, we have kind of, in many ways we are similar. Huh.
Yeah,
Mr.
sir. I would
Rafi?
like to add a little sentence that everybody is cautious except our people who live below the low socioeconomic condition. Except them, we are all trying actually.
Okay, so they have reasons, you know, they need
Yeah.
to, we can provide, you know, our
Hmm.
social structure, our country is not rich enough to,
Yeah, I admit that
and
they
also,
have their reason.
yeah, that's the thing. Okay, Farzana, Momo, are you there? Farzana, are you there? Can I ask you? Okay, so Nusaira, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, Nusaira, how often do you ride a bicycle?
Not too often, actually.
Okay, yes. Add up a little bit, you know, 3 to 4 sentences at least.
I used to ride a bicycle when I was young, but recently I haven't been able to ride a bicycle that much.
You might even add that, yes, I'm looking forward to studying in a foreign country, especially say think about Netherlands or USA. There's a chance that if I go there, you know, I'll definitely be riding a bicycle. Huh? You can even add a little bit, no problem with that. So are bicycles very popular in Bangladesh? What do you think?
Well,
Do
with
you
the
think
current situation, bicycles are becoming more and more popular because it's really convenient to travel with a bicycle right now.
okay, so given the okay, given the corona epidemic,
No,
or no,
actually, the traffic in our country is
the
really bad.
traffic, mostly
So,
traffic. But is it safe? Still, is it safe? What do you think? Is it safe
uh,
overall, in general? Is it
ov-
safe? You know.
in general, in other countries, it's safer because they maintain a lot of traffic rules. But in our country, the drivers are really reckless, so not safe all the time.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you, Muftasim Nihal. Can I ask you one or two questions? Huh? Uh,
Yes, sir.
do you mind noises? Do you feel that you're bothered by noises, or you have become habituated? It's not a big problem in Dhaka. Does it really bother you? Noise?
In living in Dhaka and with noises are the same thing. I mean, if we are stuck in traffic for 3 hours, let's say, then
Yes.
we are constantly hearing noises all the time. So we get habituated with it very easily, as compared to like my cousins who stays out of Dhaka. They complain a lot that it's very
Okay,
noisy.
okay, fine. Do you influence that? Ashna? Is it
Oh,
Ashna?
sir, let me
Please.
introduce her.
Oh,
She is
okay.
my friend from Kurdistan.
Oh,
So
Kurdistan.
she's a nurse in a hospital, and she is my good friend. And I just invite her to join this class, and
Okay,
she
okay.
cordially just joined this class.
I see.
Yeah, she's
Welcome.
from
Welcome, Ashna. Um, can I ask you a question, Ashna?
Hello.
Hello, how
How
are you?
are you?
I'm fine, thank you. May I ask you a question? Huh? Let me ask
Okay.
you. Okay, so
Yeah, sure.
do advertisements influence your choice about what to buy? Does it, or you're not really influenced by any kind of advertisements?
Sorry, I didn't understand
No,
what you
okay,
mean because I just
okay.
arrived,
Oh,
so I don't know about it.
no problem, no problem. So can I repeat? Do advertisements? That question. I'm asking this question. You can say it, huh? Yeah. Do you think that
Okay.
advertising plays an important role in today's world, or no? Okay, no. Let's talk about this one. Do advertisements influence your choice about what to buy? Does it influence or not really?
Ashna, do you understand the question, or
No, I didn't.
advertisement in the television or YouTube, or in other social media? Is it any influence in your
Does it have?
choice to buy something?
Okay,
Advertise.
sometimes
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
affecting, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's affecting my, yeah, but not always. I'm trying to not judge just by social media or TV because, most of the time the reclams are not dependable.
Okay.
When you are asking, yeah,
Great. That's the
whenever
answer.
try
Okay,
to buy
good, good.
something online, they will not give you the real
The real stuff.
features of these things. Yeah.
Okay, so what popular is internet marketing or internet shopping in your country, Ashna? Is it?
It is in the actually it's in the beginning.
Okay,
It's
in the
not too much
beginning. Okay,
common, but
even
people now are trying to use online market now, but it's not too much common.
But what about you? Do you think that, you know, do you buy things from internet? You know?
Actually, I just buy a watch once,
Okay.
but after that I didn't bought anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sometimes happens. You know, you're not happy, especially the performance and everything.
Sometimes it's good, but it's not 100% dependable.
Okay, sometimes mostly, you know, if we can get those in the market, so we need to. Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
it's not available, then you don't have any option. Okay, so whom can I Salman, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How often do you visit art galleries?
Sir, I most often I don't visit art gallery, but a few years back I visited the art gallery which is located at Dhanmondi. It was called Drick Art Gallery. There was a competition going on, and I visited there with my friend, and there was so many exhibition I have seen there.
Okay.
Of different pictures.
Fine. Mahi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you eating more fruits these days or less? You know, these days.
I am literally foodie, so I can eat to as much as I can. It can
Are
be
you
fruit, it can be
fruit? Are you eating fruit?
right now.
Right now. I'm talking about right now.
No, not. I'm taking class.
No.
How could I?
No. Right now means I'm saying that during the corona, you know, kind of still in the corona lockdown. Are we eating more fruits or less?
I'm
Is
eating
there
more
any
fruits,
risk?
like it's.
Is there any risk now?
No,
You know, because
no, there is a lots of procedure to make it pure. Like you can make those things to clean for sometimes like 45 minutes or 60 minutes. Any kind of foods, it's not rotated that time.
Okay.
And if you take vitamin C types food like lemon and different kinds of fruits.
Okay, Mr.
It can be
Mizan.
apple, watermelon,
Fine.
anything.
Yeah. So you're having. Okay, Mr. Mizan, are you there? Mizan, Mr. Mizan. Okay, no problem. So okay, we're kind of done. Yes. Mizan, Mr. Mizan, are you there? Okay.
Yes.
Just let me ask you one or two questions. Are you good at taking photographs?
Sometimes I take photograph when necessary. Otherwise, I don't like to take any photograph. For my office purpose, I frequently take photograph.
Okay, you need
making slide.
I see. Okay, but do you have you ever thought about taking up a what? Have you ever thought about, you know, taking up a course, photograph course?
At present situation, I don't think to take any course or any training because my profession is not related to photography. And sometimes I take photograph only for presentation. That I am happy in my present skill.
Okay. Just another question. Who wants to speak up? Anybody? Farzana, are you there? Farzana, Mumu, are you there? Are you there? Okay. So, whom can I ask? Anybody who'd like to speak out? Anybody? You?
I want as an icebreaker.
Okay. Would you do you ride bikes or, you know, scooties? Do you ride scooties? Is there any chance you'll be riding a scooty in Bangladesh, you know, in the future, or are you riding one at the moment?
Not really at the moment. Not really, but there is always in my mind I have to buy a scooty and ride that in Dhaka. But my family didn't allow me to do that because of traffic or some issue.
Okay, guys, let's stop it here. You know, we are going to do some other stuff. We'll be doing reading. Also, we'll be covering some writing task as well. So, let's go there. Huh? Let's go there. So, what we are going to do, we are going to solve this IELTS, this one. So let me put it here, this one. There's a passage. Huh? There's a passage from Cambridge book, and we're going to cover this one today. We're going to solve this one. I have sent it already. I sent it before. Anybody, you checked it out? Probably in the morning or in the afternoon, in the noon.
Yes, sir. I have received the email contents of like your listening materials as well as the reading materials.
Okay. So one thing I can do, I will send one listening material on each day. I'm saying on the day. At least I don't think listening it really helps much, especially on online class.
Yes, sir.
It's better if you practice at home. But if you have any problem, you can contact me. We can over Zoom. We can, you can ask me questions. I can solve individual sections. Just a moment. Give me just 10 seconds. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Just a moment. Okay, let's have a first let's have an overview. So this is the one we are going to solve today. This is the second one. The second one. Usually, see 14 to 26. What does it mean? It means that this is what? How many passages you have to cover? 3 passages. And
yes,
how many questions altogether? 40 questions. 40. And each of them usually 13 to 14. The first one probably had one. Not probably, 1 to 13. The second one, this is 14 to 26. And the last one, 27 to 40. Okay. 40. Okay, this is the first page. This is the first page. This is the second page. The second page. And this is the third page. Let's see what kind of questions we have. Reading passage 2 has 6 paragraphs, 8 through F. Which paragraph contains the following information? Write the correct letter A and F in boxes 14 to 17 in your answer sheet. You'll have an answer sheet. So don't worry about that. Those are not difficult, but you'll have to find the answer. That's now important. So as long as you have the answer sheet, you will just against 14, if it's what? A, you'll write A. Against 16, you'll write B, like that. Okay, so this is another one type of question. This is common, and I think it's considered a little bit difficult. For one reason, it's not that much difficult, but when you want to do it quickly, I think you might make mistakes, and it's difficult to find the correct answer within the given time. Okay, and here it says, it's very important here in this type of question. What's that? They're saying that you may use any letter more than once. What does it mean? Anybody who can tell me? What does that mean? Means they're saying this information, this particular information, a reference to the influence of domestic background on the gifted children. We'll discuss about that. A reference to the influence of domestic background. If this sentence, where we will find a reference, there is some in any of the what paragraphs, there will be what? A reference. Reference to what? Influence of domestic background on the gifted children. So which you'll have to find it out. How do you find it out? Or you might even have to find a reference to what can be lost if learners are given too much guidance. A reference to the damaging effects of anxiety. Examples of classroom techniques which favor social disadvantage. So we'll have to find out which individual paragraphs contains this particular information. And if you add this up more than once, it means that 2 of these or even 3 of these can even be a part of one particular paragraph. These are paragraph. Yeah, this is one paragraph. Paragraph B is paragraph E, F. That's paragraph what? A, paragraph B, and paragraph C. So this is one type of question. Anybody, do you have any problem in understanding this one? Or no? You
No,
understand?
sir. Yes.
Everybody, please. আচ্ছা, let me use a little bit Bengali as well. আচ্ছা, এখানে বলছে যে এই এক একটা এই ইনফরমেশনটা কোন প্যারাগ্রাফে থাকবে? এখানে তো অনেকগুলো প্যারাগ্রাফ আছে, A B C D E F পর্যন্ত। ওখানে কোনো না কোনো অল্প লেখা থাকবে এই ব্যাপারে। সো আপনি যদি মনে হয় যে এই প্রথম 14টা ডি ই তে আছে, তাহলে আপনি 14 এর এগেইনস্টে কি লিখবেন? শুধু ই লিখলেই হবে। আচ্ছা, ফাইন। এটা one type of question. Now let's move on to the next type of question. It says this covers 18 to 22. What is this question? They're saying that their list of people, these are probably scientists, and see this one, less time can be spent on exercise with gifted people who produce accurate work. You know, they have mentioned, you see, yes, Weisberg, you see, Boykerts, you see, Elshot, and what they say, you know, there is kind of reference, and they have said something after their research, from a research finding, and these are there. So you'll have to match who said what. Freeman probably he mentioned something, this one. So you'll have to, you know, against 21, you'll have to write what? A. If you see that Simonton said this one, you know, self-reliance is a valuable tool that helps gifted children reach their goal. It's not the exact word. It's kind of a little bit paraphrased. You'll have to find it out. You get my point? Is it easy or difficult?
To me, it's pretty difficult for me. Like in this section, I couldn't make all the right. Like I just got 3 or 4. Not.
Okay, we'll check it out. We'll check it out. Okay, so usually how we'll do that? Okay, let's see this page first. How do you find this? Where you will find? How can you guess? Not guess. How can you say for sure that this information is in this one, in B? This information is in D. Okay, that's the first challenge. And this one, you'll have to find all the names, yes, and you'll have to. But the basic is you'll have to find these names and then read, you know, after or before some lines. Say Freeman, something he said something. So you will have to read that. Then you'll have to read each of the options. Then you find it out. Yes, Freeman said this one. So we'll do it together. What's the next one? This is complete the sentences. This is another one. This is the last one. Choose no more than, very important, 2 words. 2 words means A is a word. A is a word. A. Do they consider A is a word? Yes, it's a word. A is a word. No more than from. So a man means 2 words. If they say that 2 words, not more than, if they say not more than 1 word, if you wrote a man or a bird, then it would be wrong. You'll have to follow their instruction. Write your answers in boxes 23 to 26 on your answer sheet. So you'll have to find what? These, fill in the blanks. Are this in order? Usually, you know, you'll have to find it from the passage, given passage, everything. Usually, are this in order? Anybody who can tell me? Or
yes, sir. Yes, sir. The fill in the blanks always in order. Like if I found something in paragraph 1, that could be more chance that after this.
Okay, but there's no guarantee. There's no 100% guarantee, but most of the cases, I think, yes, sir. 97, 98% in cases, they're in order. So how do you do that? How do you solve it? Who can tell me? What's the easiest? So what about this one?
First,
let's solve it separately first. Then we will talk about what can we have an integrated technique that might help us to do it quickly. But anybody who can help me, how can you do this one?
The first one, sir. Number 14 to 17.
Yes, 14 to 17. What could be the easiest way of?
So first go through the question, and then after that search the keywords in the paragraph so that we can find it easily. And yeah, it also follow the previous rules that you don't break the serial. I mean, number 14, after number 14 the 15 will come, so it's most unlikely to the 15 is before word to 14.
Okay,
so,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Anybody else? What's the easiest of doing this kind of problem? Are you going to what? Are you going to what you're doing? Say, what is this? Highlights. Are you going to highlight the keywords first? First all these, then start reading here. What's the best technique? Who can tell me? Anybody else? You have a second thought about that? Anybody? We have many joining this class.
Yes, sir.
So you told me you're going to highlight this first?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, listen. If you highlight this one, okay, you highlight reference.
Yeah, influence, domestic background, gifted child.
Gifted child. Okay, think about this one. It refers to the influence of domestic background on the gifted child. Yeah. So what you are going to do?
I'm going to search it in a paragraph with the same keyword I find in the
listen. You remember those words.
Yeah.
How much time will it take? You will cover this one, you will cover this one, you will cover this one. It's going to take lots of time because for this information you are reading is again this one, again you read the whole thing again. You are reading too much. You don't have that much time. Anybody?
Sir, what if
I will go for reading
paragraph and see the question?
Okay, so why don't you? That's much more, I think, smarter way of doing things. One thing we can do, what? We can read what?
Sir, one particular paragraph.
Let's read this paragraph.
Then I will try to relate within the question if this is going relate with the questions.
Okay, that we can do. Let's see. That could be a very nice thing to do. Okay, just a moment. Give me time. Say 1 and 3. Okay, let's. Okay, can we do this one? The same thing. Can we read this one? And say, are we going to read the whole thing, the whole, or you just have to read the first few lines? Anybody?
Sir, the first. Or answering the question.
Is there any guarantee that it's going to be within the next 3 or 4 lines? Any guarantee?
I think it's better to read the full paragraph.
Okay, if you can, this is much safer. But some people, they take risk. It's up to you.
But sir, after reading the first 3 or 4 lines, I can get the overview. What we're going to say.
No, but another thing. This is not the heading. Heading is different. It could be any line.
Okay.
In most of the cases, you might find it within the 3-4 lines. Let's check it out. Right there. Let's check it out.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay, one thing we can do, we can just fine. 1, 2, 3. Just a moment. 2 and 3. Fine. So can we read it? Let's read it. Okay, can you read it? Is it legible? Internationally, giftedness is most frequently determined by a score on a general intelligence test known as an IQ test, which is above a chosen cutoff point, usually at around the top 2 to 5%. Children's educational, we are just skimming or scanning. Scanning means just to read to get the idea, and scanning is looking for a particular word. Are we looking for a particular word? No, we haven't done what. Just read. Children's education environment contributes to the IQ score and the way intelligence is used. For example, a very close positive relationship was found when children's IQ scores were compared with their home educational provision. Freeman, 2010. The higher the children's IQ scores, especially over IQ 130, the better the quality of their educational backup, measured in terms of reported verbal interaction with parents, number of the books and activities in their home, etc. Because IQ tests are decidedly influenced by what the child has learned, there to some extent measures of current achievement based on age norm. That is, how well the children have learned to manipulate their knowledge and know-how within the terms of the test. The vocabulary aspect, for example, is dependent on having heard those words, but IQ tests can neither identify the process of learning and thinking, not predict creativity. Sometimes what happens, they say that read the first 3 to 4 lines and the last line. Sometimes it also give a better understanding. So what we read about here, what we read, they're talking about IQ. And IQ, does it depends on anything? You know, you see here, for example, a very close positive relationship was found. Let's read here. For example, check it out. A very close positive relationship was found when children's IQ was compared with their home education provision. Provision means what facilities they have. Provision means if you have computers, if you have very educated parents, if you have, you know, sometimes teachers who is guiding you. So this is the information. Probably you'll have to remember this one. You'll have to read everything. So can we read it? Let's read. Does it match here? A reference to the influence of domestic background. And the domestic background means what?
Provision.
Home education.
Education provision.
Okay, so you'll have to read in such a way so you remember. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut. You get my point?
Yes,
so
sir.
does it say that reference to what can be lost if learners are given too much guidance? They never mention anything like that. A reference to the damaging effect of anxiety. Did they mention about anxiety? No. An example of classroom technique which favors socially disadvantaged children? No. So answer to ki hobe? Against 14, we are going to write what? A. Okay, fine. Now let's read the second one, and then we'll be reading this one again. The first sentence is very important because it guides you what we're going to talk about. Huh? Okay, so let's read it from there. Sorry. Now let's read B. Excellence does not emerge without appropriate help. So what they're going to talk about? You need appropriate help in nurturing. Okay, so probably they are going to expand on this idea. To reach an exceptionally high in any area, very able children need the means. One thing you can do if you want. One, you could have done what you could have done. You could have underlined few words. That's the best you could have done. Then what? How would it have helped you? This one? It's a reference to what can be lost, given too much guidance, reference to the damaging effect of anxiety, examples of classroom techniques which favor socially. So at least you remember. If you come across that word, you can kind of relate it. Let's move on to this one. Let's read it again. Excellence does not emerge without appropriate help. To reach an exceptionally high standard in any area, very able children need the means to learn, which includes material to work with and focused challenging tuition, and the encouragement to follow their dream. There appears to be a qualitative difference in the way the intellectually highly able think compared with more average ability or older pupils, for whom external regulations by the teacher often compensate for lack of internal regulations. Means if you're weak, you need teachers. To be at their most effective in their self-regulations, all children can be helped to identify their own ways of learning. It's called what? Metacognition, which will include strategies of planning, monitoring, evaluation, and choice of what to learn. Emotional awareness is also part of metacognition, which will, where is that? I'm sorry. Emotional awareness is a part of so children should be helped to be aware of their feelings around the area we learn. Feelings of curiosity or confidence, for example. Okay, so have we read, can we find it here? Can we find it here? Refers to what was lost if learners had given too much guidance. Did they talk about that? Huh? Did they talk about that? Have you read anything like that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Huh? Probably not. Probably not. So a reference to the damaging effect of anxiety, no. Example of classroom techniques which favor socially? Did we read about that? Probably we can't remember.
Probably
not. Probably
not.
Probably we haven't read. Then what? Let's move on to the next paragraph. This is the way you'll have to do it. There's no shortcut. Let's read. C. High achievers have been found to use self-regulatory learning strategies more often and more effective than lower achievers. So this one will cover that. They have a self way of learning strategies, then more effective than lower achievers. They have their own technique. They develop that technique and are better able to transfer these strategies to deal with unfamiliar tasks. Okay, so they will be talking about the higher achievers and how they differ from the other people. This happens to such a high degree in some children that they appear to be demonstrating talent in particular areas. Overviewing research as on the thinking process of highly able. Okay. Wait. Highly able. The next page. Highly able children put the instructor's problem succinctly. Put this one. Children, put this person, what he mentioned, that the difference between the highly developed and the average one, if the gifted merely think more quickly, then they need only teach more quickly. If they then we can shorten the practice. But of course, this is not entirely the case. Adjustments have to be made in methods of learning and teaching to take account of many ways individual things. So here, what was the main idea about how the more intelligent they read and the average read. Another one here means that the more quickly, those who are very good, they need only this much input. Read quickly, read less. They don't need to show. You don't need to show them that how to read. You get my point? This is the main idea of this paragraph. Okay, let's see whether this information, can we find it here? Can we read it out? We have already found 14. 14 is done. 14 we have already covered this one. What about the others? Did we read anything in that paragraph that matches here? Yes or no? Yes or no? Did we read anything that mentioned in that paragraph and is mentioned here? Yes or no?
Sir, I think number 17 most probably matches with the third paragraph.
No, they didn't mention socially disadvantaged. They talked about the advantage. No. It's close, but it's not that. Okay, now let's read the next one. Yet, in order to learn by themselves. Okay, so. Well, in order to learn by themselves, the gifted do not need support from their teachers. Conversely, teachers who have a tendency to over-direct can diminish their gifted pupil learning autonomy. You remember this one? We have read it. We have read it a little bit. Can we check it here? Is there it matches anything? If you over-direct, there's a problem. Can you read it here? Which one matches that one?
Number 15, reference to what we
Number
lost.
15, you see?
Learners are given too
reference
much
to
guidance.
What can be lost if learners are given too much
guidance.
They talked about that here.
Yeah.
See, You'll have to remember that. You'll have to somehow, yet in order to learn by themselves, the gifted do not need support from their teachers. Conversely, on the other hand, teachers who give a hand.
Or vice
Then let's
versa.
it over. Okay, vice versa. Fine. Now let's move. Should we stop here? Because listen, you can stop here because two of these could be from one paragraph.
Yeah, of course.
So you can stop. If the condition was that if just one would have satisfied here, I wouldn't have read it. Because I know that there can be any, but here, two of these, two of these might even refer to one. Let's read. Although spoon feeding can produce extremely high examination results, these are not always followed by equally impressive life success. Too much dependence on the teacher risks loss of autonomy and motivation to discover. So it's better not to spoon feed. However, when teachers help pupils to reflect on their own learning and thinking activities, they increase their pupils' self-regulations. Help people reflect on their own learning, they increase people's self-regulation. Sometimes it's help to to regulate.
Yeah.
For a children, it may be just a simple question: what have you learned today? They're not over directing, just to make them sure so they have learned the right thing, which helps them to recognize that what they're doing. Given that fundamental goal of education is to transfer the control of learning from teachers to pupils, improving pupils' learning to learn techniques should be major outcome of the school's experience, especially for the highly competent, as there are quite a number of new methods which can help, such as child-initiated learning, ably paired tutoring, etc. Such practices have been found to be particularly useful for bright children from deprived classes. Okay, can we, is there anything you read from here? Can you read it? In reference to the damaging effect, anxiety, did they mention anything about anxiety?
No, sir.
An example of classroom techniques which favor socially disadvantaged children?
No, sir, probably not.
Probably yes.
Probably yes.
Yeah. See here. This is the last line. You see, read it. They're saying
such
that
practices have been found
such as children-initiated learning, ability peer tutoring. These are the techniques. Such practices have been found to be particularly useful for
the bright children from the deprived area.
Deprived area means what?
Deprived means the unprivileged,
socially disadvantaged.
So
it's challenging. You'll have to read properly. There's no shortcut. You'll have to read lots of. Say, what if you just thought that the answer will be in the first few lines? See, the answer is here at the last line. If you skipped, you will be in big trouble. Okay, let's read the last E. But scientific progress is not all theoretical. Knowledge is also vital to outstanding performance. The first line is very important. But scientific progress is not all theoretical. Knowledge is also vital for outstanding performance. Scientific progress is not all theoretical. Not every theory based. Individuals who know a great deal about a specific domain will achieve at a higher level than those who. It's not every theory. If you are smart, if you know about lots of things, then what happens? You can relate things. It's not only about learning. You find some people who haven't been engineers, who haven't gone to engineering, but they still what? They can invent things. So it's not theoretical. Sometimes it's also your knowledge. Research with creative scientists, brought him to the conclusion that above a certain level, high level, characteristics such as independence seem to contribute more to reaching the highest level of expertise than intellectual skill. Due to the great demands of effort and time needed for learning the practice, creativity in all forms can be seen as expertise mixed with a high level of motivation. Anything, the last one? In reference to the damaging effects of anxiety, did they mention anything about damaging effect? Do you remember? No. Did they? No, I don't remember. Any anxiety? Did they mention anything about anxiety?
No, sir.
No. Okay, let's read the last one. To sum up, learning is affected by emotions of both affected means influence, by both individual and significant others, of both individuals and sometimes others. Positive emotions facilitates the creative aspect of learning, and negative emotions means you're talking about anxiety and all this. Fear is what? It's a negative anxiety. For example, can limit the development of curiosity, which is strong force in scientific advance because it motivates problem solving behaviors. Okay, review. I think we already got the answer.
Yeah.
So which one? I think this one goes to what?
F.
This one go to F. By that time we have got it. So where did we get the answers? Say here. Say here. Here. Something. Sorry, not here. Here, we got the answer somewhere within the few lines. Yeah. What about this one? Here we got the answers. Did we get any answer there? Here?
In between, yeah, we couldn't find the answer, but in the first two line and the last line we found.
Here another. There was an answer. Conversely, teachers are to over direct can diminish their gifted pupil learning time. So one answer was here. Another one answer was here. So one answer at the beginning, another one at the beginning and at the end. And what about the first one? Another one here. Another answer. So yes, in more often we can see that the answer are what? In the middle half, within the middle. Here, within the first half. Kind of. This one, also the other one. The other one. So can we take the risk? Can we always do it this kind of question? We'll just read the first 4 or 5 lines. Does it help or it's too risky?
It's too risky.
Okay, so if it's possible, because it's not the heading, remember, usually in heading question, the first 3 or 4 lines is always, they're talking about whether this information, it doesn't have to be the main information. It could be any information. And it could be as an example as well. But in case of example, if example can never be a heading, get my point? Yeah. But the example can be from here as well, any example. That's the difference between the heading question and this type of question. Here, which paragraph means it doesn't have to be this information, the main, most important. It could be any information. It could be as a secondary information. So for this one, I will suggest, if it's possible, you'll have to read the whole thing. Okay, this is one type of question. Now let's move on to what? This one. What's the easiest of doing this one? What? We'll have to find this. Names first. Names. We'll have to say in the names. Then what? The same thing, say here. Let's see if it is like that. Say, think about this one. Here is the name. Here's the name. So think about, we have the names. You'll keep on reading. Here's the names. We have other names. Is there any name? There is an advantage. All the dates are there, years. So it's easy to find out those. You see, so as long as you find it out, you read this part. You read, here, this or even after that. Usually they mention something. Then what? After you read that, then you come to what? After you have read that, let me show it here. After you have read it, say think about you read this one, then you'll be reading these one by one. Then what? You'll be able to find it. Okay, can we do that? And let's do that. Let's try to do 1 or 2. You can do the rest. Let me show you how to do that. Can we do that? So one by one. So what was the first one? First one is what? Free man. Who can tell me? You know what he said? This one. This information is from free man. And also, you can just read a little bit more than later because it might help you. What if you missed it? For example, a very close positive relationship was found when children's IQ scores were compared with their home education. Freeman mentioned this one. The higher the IQ, especially over 130, the better of quality of their educational background. Okay, so can we read it? Can we see that whether it matches any of these? Does it matches this information?
Sir, this can be 21 for Freeman.
It can be 21. Which one?
Yes.
Which one? Freeman? Here, Freeman. Which one? This one.
Yes, sir.
A very gifted child benefits from appropriate support from close relatives. Does it mention here? Let's read it. For example, a very close positive relationship is found when children compared with their home educational provision. They had the, so which one here? Home educational provision, because you know your parents are there. Does it mean that? Huh?
Yeah, of course.
Home educational is related. Yes, it's related. Home education means what? Provision means it doesn't have to be completed. Means someone. It could be a tutor. It could be computers. It could be anything that helps. So yes, this one, this information goes where? This one. So now let's move on to the next one. Any other person? Any other name? Do you have it here? No.
No, sir.
No. Let's move on to the next one. Here, just a moment. Let me just.
Yeah. The first line, sir. Shore and Kioski.
Just a moment. Here. Shore and Kansley. Here it says what? Put the instruction problem succinctly. What is succinctly? Short.
Pithy or
in
point
short.
in a point. Yeah, I mean to the point.
Is it a GRE word? Have you
Yeah,
learned
sir.
it? You read it in the word list.
vocab.
Okay, in the vocab, this word was there. You will find that all the little bit difficult word, you know all the word. If.
Thank you again, sir.
If they merely think more quickly, then we need only teach them quickly. If they merely make fewer errors, then we can shorten the practice because they know they are gifted. They're talking about what needs to be done with the gifted. And who says that? Shore and Kensley. Inventory. Okay, can we see any reference there? Any reference? So we are already done with 21. Anybody? Can you match it with Shore and Kensley? Which one?
Sir, number.
Which one?
20.
20.
Can be,
No. What we read? Less time can be spent on exercise with gifted people who prepare accurate work.
Okay, sir, accurate work.
You know, here, you remember? Here, this one, read it. If they merely think, okay, if they merely think, it's not direct, it's not paraphrase, you'll have to understand that. If they merely think more quickly, then we need only teach them quickly. Money, other than that, they will get bored. If they're fast, because they're already good, you'll have to move quick. If you think that they merely make new mistake, you don't have to worry about that because you know that they know that. You'll have to go, according to, because they're already talented. Get my point?
Yes.
But when someone is average, then even the teacher, you'll have to make everything, just to make him or her understand everything. Okay, so indirectly he's saying this one. Indirectly. What? Less time. 18, yes, 18. Less time can be spent on exercising with gifted people. It's a paraphrase. It's not exactly the same thing, but almost similar. Now then what? Now we will move on. The next one, where is the number? Year. If you find the year, you'll understand that you got it. Now here, this is, no? Here.
Yeah.
Okay, another one. Here. So what's the year? This is Simonton. What he say? Oh no, L sharp. Let me read from here. What they're saying, but scientific progress is not all theoretical. Knowledge is also vital to understanding. You'll have to be smart as well. It's not only theory. Theory means whatever you're reading from books. Individuals who know a great deal about a specific domain will achieve at a higher level than those who do not. So what is this? Individuals who know a great deal about a specific domain will achieve at a higher level than those who do not. Means you have, if you have general knowledge on, you will be able to relate it better. Anything? Where? Which one? Doesn't match.
22.
22. It goes with what? Which person? This? L sharp.
Really successful students have learned a considerable amount
really
to their subject.
What was the keyword? What was the keyword here?
Considerable.
Great deal about a specific domain. Domain means area. Will achieve a higher level than those who do not. This one relates to that. Okay, another one. Let's read another one from E. Another research with creative scientists by Simonton brought him to the conclusion. What was that? Above a certain high level, characteristics such as independence seem to contribute more to reaching the highest level of expertise than intellectual skills due to the great demands of effort and time needed for learning and practice. What do they mean here? Should we read this one? No. First, let's. Means certain level characters independence. You need to be independent. You need to, other than that, sometimes always you can work in group.
I mean, sir, it may be referred to liberal thoughts.
Okay, anything here? Anything?
The answer would be 19.
90. What? Self-reliance is a valuable tool that helps gifted children.
Yeah, sir. 19. 19.
Always teamwork does not work. Always. Sometimes you find one or two people who bring out something because they need the independence as well. You know, they can, other than that, they can think out of the box. You get it? They mentioned
yes,
it.
Sir.
Okay, what about, should we read this one, Weisberg? No, because there's nothing mentioned as Weisberg here. No mention. Now let's read, which one? There's another one. Fear, you see, for example, can limit the development of curiosity, which is a strong force in scientific advancement because it motivates problem-solving behavior and fear. Review of emotion in the learning of high children. She found emotional force in harness. Okay, so anything here, let's read. Fear, for example, can limit the development of curiosity.
Yeah.
Which is a strong force in scientific advance. So it hinders. It hinders. Can we read any here?
The 20 is left, so 20 will be the answer, I guess.
20. 20, okay, why don't you read more? They're saying gifted children know how to channel their feelings to assess their learning. Okay, can we read more? They were not only curious, but also had a strong desire to control their environment, improve their learning efficiency, and increase their own learning resources. So I think altogether they say that it kind of relates with this one. They have the ability, know how to channel their feelings to assess their learning. So they are in control.
Sir, though it's paraphrasing, but it seems hard. I mean,
it's
the last word.
No, but there's an advantage. That was the only one left. That's the only. So because there are only 5 options, and there were. Okay, that's. So this is one, and the last one we have this one. You know, the what? This is what?
Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks. This is the fill in the blanks. So how do you do the fill in the blanks? Usually you start what? Keywords.
The keywords and
one study found that strong connection between children's IQ and availability of something at home. We already read for home. You get my point? We know where it is, home. Yeah?
In the paragraph A.
A paragraph. Okay, so what's going to be these two words? Who can tell me? Now, can you tell me which one is going to be the two words? One study found a strong connection between children's IQ, children IQ, IQ and dash at home. Can we read it?
In the fourth line, sir.
Fourth line.
Says, yeah, in the home educational provision and children's IQ. Yeah, for example.
So what are the two words?
A very close positive relation was found when children's IQ score were compared with their home educational provision. So the words will be.
What are the two words? We'll have to keep on reading. Home kothay pab? Ei je. Home.
Yes, sir.
No? Achha. So what are the interaction with number and activity? What? Availability of something and something at home. So what they're talking about? Better the quality of their education backup measured in terms of what? Reported verbal interactions with parents, number of books and activities. Then what? Availability of what?
Number of availability of books
and
activities at home.
Books and
activities.
So which two words?
Books and activities.
Activities. So the next one we'll find next. Okay, so here, children of average ability seem to need more direction from the teachers because they do not have what they're missing. I think it could be from here, very likely, or no. What? Because this one is talking about health, resting one. Children, average ability. To reach an exceptionally high standard in an area, very able children need to what? Need the means of learning. Is it average ability is any?
Yeah.
Where?
The internal regulation.
The internal regulation.
Internal where is that?
So in the sixth line, yeah.
So what? See, there appears to be qualitative difference in the way the intellectually high able compared to more average ability or older pupils. What is that? For whom external regulations by the teacher often compensates for lack of internal means their ability.
No, sir. Yeah, the word will be external regulation.
So
the teacher, one? The external regulation.
Because they do not have what?
The external regulation from from the higher IQ student, if we relate to them.
Which one is internal? I think internal. They don't have the internal regulation.
They do not have the internal regulation. Yeah.
It's a lack of. So they don't have it. That's why answer to
internal regulation.
Sorry. You'll have to find internal regulation. Okay, wait. Okay. Next word. Metacognition involves children understanding their own learning strategies as well as developing something. So we'll look for metacognition. Where is the metacognition? Here is the metacognition. We read that. Where is metacognition?
So in the same paragraph.
In the same paragraph? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Metacognition. So which one? Involves children understanding of their own learning strategies as well as developing what?
Emotional awareness.
What is that? Metacognition. To be in their, so all children identify their learning here, metacognition, another, which will include strategies of planning, monitoring, evaluation, and choice of what to learn. Emotional awareness is also part of metacognition. So children should be helped to be aware of their feelings and around the area to be learned. Does it help? Involve children understanding their own learning strategies as well as developing what?
Emotional awareness.
So
Which word?
emotional awareness possibility high.
Possibility high. Which one you're talking about? Emotional awareness is also part of, so should be help to be aware of their feeling around the area of to be learned. Feelings of curiosity. So this is the word. They're looking for what? Involves understanding their own as well as developing is also part. Also part. Not only this one, but emotional awareness is also play a big role. So can you have emotional awareness? Then what? Teachers who rely on what is known as dash often produces sets of impressive grades in class tests. Teachers who rely on what is known as something, where keep on reading. What is the keyword? Impressive, impressive grades in class tests. Where can you read it here? Can you find it out where they mention impressive grades in class tests? Which one? What helps them to money? If the teachers, they keep on teaching you something again and again, what happens?
Sir, I think in the paragraph D.
Spoon feeding.
Good. If they always spoon feeding, you don't have to understand anything. They keep on memorizing you, make you memorize something. Then what happens? You have a very good score, but you really didn't understand it much. Get my point? So here, in order to, so teachers here, see, who have a tendency to over-direct can diminish their gifted pupils' learning autonomy. Although spoon feeding can produce extremely high examination results, these are not always followed by equally impressive life. You might find that in metric, many students, they do well, but intermediate, when you have physics, chemistry, they fail. You get my point? Why? Because the syllabus is short in metric. So if you keep on reading, you become good. But in intermediate, when you have physics, chemistry, biology, and all those, you don't get that much time. So only the best, they can do good. Others, they fail. You get my point? So what are the words here? You're looking for what?
Spoon feeding.
Spoon feeding.
Spoon feeding.
Spoon feeding. Here. So, but tell me one thing. We did it separately. What could have been the best way of doing it together? What could have been, if you put it in, what could have been? Just see one thing. What if I read this first line first? One study, first line, I started from the back. One study found a strong connection between children's IQ and the availability of something and something at home. Think about that. If I just remembered home and children's IQ, only these two words, then what? While I was reading, while I was solving the first one, this type, if I found this word, that word, home, what I could have done, I could have put a marker. Say this is what? Very likely the first answer of which one? This one will be here, because we know once we find the first one, the others will follow. You get my point? That help is a boost. I'll be doing this one. I'll be solving this one. This type of question always worries that you solve it first, because when you are solving that, you also get some idea about these. What if, when we were solving this one, the first one, what we could have done? We could have what? Whenever we found that, the names, we could have also marked it here. Get my point?
Yes, sir.
Then what? Here, we were doing the marking again. So if we started reading from the back, by the time we had done the first one, what we had done? We already know where it starts. The first one starts. At the same time, we know that we have already what? Underline all the names. Then what happens? By the time we are done with the first one, we already know all the names are what? Marked. At the same time, we already know the first one of the what? The sentence completion is here. Money, then what? We know that if it's the first one, the second one could be. Other than that, what happens? Say you did this one first, whole thing. Then again, when you're doing this one, what you had, again you would have started looking for what? The names again. Then when you come here, then what? You read the first one, then again you would have started reading from the beginning. The first one. What if the first one was here? Then what? You had to read all from here to here. You get my point? So sometimes it takes more time. So I will always suggest you, at least, not everybody, not the first one, at least the first one. Home, I know that I'll have to look for this word. Here I know I'll have to look for all the names. Then I start this one, no problem with that. But while I'll be doing that, I'm doing multitasking. Whenever there is a name, I'm putting a mark here. Whenever there is a name, say another name, it could be somewhere here. I am putting a mark. So what happens? You're multitasking. Multitasking, without multitasking, you won't be able to finish it, because you see that it takes time even to read. Get my point? You have some idea now to solve this kind of problem if you have this
Yes,
kind
sir.
of. So this one, always do this one. Heading, always do this one. But before starting this one, scan the questions, whether you can find that the keyword, at least from the first one, even if it was yes or not given, if you could at least mark that the last one question start from here, but you are doing, আপনারা বুঝছেন আমি প্রথমটাই করছি, আমি হেডিং অথবা ওই যে এই লাইনটা কোথায় আছে ওইটাই খুঁজছি, কিন্তু ততক্ষণে আমি লাস্টের গুলো পেয়ে যাচ্ছি কোথাও। এর ফলে কি আমাদের এই যে লাস্টেরটা খোঁজার জন্য আবার প্রথম থেকে যে পড়তাম, সেই সময়টা একটু সেভ হয়ে যায়, অনেক সময় সেভ হয়। এটা কিন্তু আপনাকে একটু খেয়াল রাখতে হবে। ওভাবে বারবার করলে আপনি দেখবেন যে মাল্টিটাস্কিং ছাড়া এটা আলাদা ভাবে চিন্তা করলে আপনি প্রায় 3 বার পড়ছেন, 3 বার না হলেও 2 বার, 2 বার না হলেও 2.5 বার। আর ওইভাবে করলে একবার পড়েই আপনাকে তিনটারই কম বেশি আপনাকে একটু খুঁজে বের করতে হবে, তিনটাই কোথায় কি আছে, একটা আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং চলে আসে। আর এইটা আমি কোন I'm not going to ask you to read one then read the all these 7 paragraphs. Doesn't make sense. You read another one, then read the 7 paragraphs. You read another one, then read. It doesn't make sense. Get my point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's move on to, we are going to just check out. I will send you, if need be, I will send you another to solve at home. You can solve if you want. So we are going to check. We are going to check to say here. This one. This is a map. We'll see how they have written. We'll analyze this one. And there's another pie. How to write that? Analysis and the map. And so the more you practice, you remember that one. Let's check out the first one. You know, the pie one. This one. But before that, let me just give you some little bit of idea. A little bit of idea that how to write a just overview. I'm not going to get through that much. Just give you some idea how to write. Okay, this is what this is. This is how to write a pie chart. The key tools. So what are the task one and first? You'll have to follow this. Task achievement, cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range. What is task achievement? Whatever they are asking, I'll be sending this to you. You can even read it at home, but I'm just overviewing. Task achievement. Whatever they are asking, you'll have to give them. If they ask about what's the question, you'll have to follow the question. If they say that you need to summarize this one, summarize the answer, you have to summarize. If you were to say that you have to mention the main idea, you'll have to mention it. That's the task achievement. Coherence. And the following, how the ideas relate. Every sentence relate to the sentence before that sentence and the after sentence. The ideas must flow. Cohesion means thus, therefore, as a result. All these words, all this connected. Lexical resources, you know, the perfect words. There's some perfect words that you need to word with pie chart. That goes. You'll have to use those. That's the basic idea, often misunderstood. It's not about very difficult words, appropriate words, grammatical range. All the grammars must be correct. All the grammar and variety of sentences. If at least 50% of your sentences are not grammatically correct, it's hard to score even a 7. No, you can. How do you write introduction paragraph? In a pie chart. Introduction paragraph. Introduction covers what? The first one is what, you know, this should be one sentence long and demonstrate ability to paraphrase. They usually say that this pie chart represents what? This pie chart, this pie chart, this is what? This one, this one, this one. You'll have to paraphrase this one. In your own words, you can't copy. If you copy, no. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That's the first. The second paragraph is what? Overview. What's the main idea? Main thing. Overview of the second features. So usually overview, which one? Which one? This is. You say overview. Here's the answer. This is the introduction. This is the, it must be there. They say overview. If you don't write overview, if you don't write this overview, what stands out? Then what happens? You won't get marked. This is very important. Very important. This is very important. So this is the first one is what this pie chart is all about. The second one, the most important features. The most important features. Then what? This one, it could be one paragraph, 2 word. You, whatever main features you have mentioned here, you elaborate. No numbers in this part. No numbers. No this numbers. No. This is no particular information. This is a generalized. First, there could be a generalized and with some particular information, but no numbers. No numbers. This is a summary. This is a summary. And then you usually go for what? This is what? The expansion of these two ideas. So it follows. It's coherence, main idea. Okay, let me just show you a little bit here. Okay, so first sentence, an overview is a general statement highlighting the most important. It should not include any numbers. It's just a summary. And so the first, if the first sentence is very short, then you add it up with the overview. So this one added up. So 1, usually write sometimes 1 if the first sentence is just 1 line. Then you go for paragraph 3. This is for details. Significant feature 1. You talked about features in where? In the overall idea. So you talked in 1 paragraph. If you make 2 paragraphs, in paragraph 3 means, paragraph 3 means here. You might divide it into 2 parts. It depends. Many people, they write 1, but you might even write 2. If you write 2, here you should have 2 ideas. The first one, you elaborate here, and the second one you elaborate. So usually you might have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the most, 4 paragraph. Or sometimes you put it together. 1 paragraph, the first one, 2 or 3. It depends. Okay. So let me just check it. We are not going to take that much time. You can read it at home. So how do you find what details of supporting details? Okay, sample answer. This is sample answer. Just read it out. I think you will understand. The diagram shows the level of charitable donation of people in Lebanon. Okay, this is the introduction. What is this? This is the overall paragraph. There was a general increase in the percent of people who donated money. This is a general trend. This is more specific. However, so for the first line, you will devote 1 paragraph. For the second one, the pattern differs between the 3 groups. Between this one, you write another one, this one. You expand this one here with numbers. See your numbers, percentage, everything. But here, this one you expanded this one. Money, this is the main idea. This one, the expansion with details. Get my point? This is the main idea. 4 paragraph. Okay, read the question twice. Look at the data. What are the main features? Can I make any comparison? You first read this out. Then what? Then, okay, so, wait. Okay, so read this home, this one. So let's move on to here. So how do you write it? What we have, the pie chart. Let's read it. Okay, let's read this one first. Check it out, and then we'll see how they have written this one. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The pie chart as below give data on the spending and consumption of resources by countries of the world and how the population is distributed. How the population. What's the world spending, world population, and consumption of resources. Summarize. You see, summarize is very important. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparison where relevant. Okay. So what can we see? World spending. Food 24%, clothing, world spending on an overall. Housing, they spend 25% of the resources. Transportation 18% and others 40%. What about, this is just population. World population, what's that? Europe has 14%, America has 14%, Africa is 10%, Asia has 57%, and others have 5%. Consumption of resources. Others 40%, this is USA and European. So this European, they consume what? Despite of having only 14 and what? 28%. These are the difference. There's something that stands out. You'll have to mention these. The whole other person, you see 40% all over. All these, they only spend what? World spending. And these are what? These are not related. Clothing on what area? This is area. These are kind of related. You can relate this one. Consumption of resources and world population. This is another one. So how do we relate this thing? How do you relate this? And let's see how this has been written. Can we see? Let's check it out, and then we'll understand. Okay. So the first sentence is, but we must write what is paraphrase. You can copy. If you copy, then what happens? If you exactly copy here, the given pie charts show data on the world population. I'll send it. One thing you can do. Why don't you see the picture and write it by yourself, and you can even send me. There's no way. If you read it, you don't remember. You see the picture, you read this one if you want, the example, and write by yourself and send it to me through emails if you want. I will check it, I will give the answer. I'll give you your feedback. The given pie chart shows data on world population, the spending of population basic needs, and their share of resources. I mentioned, I covered all these three. This is the main idea. This is the overview. You must write it. If you don't write it here, you must write it as a kind of a conclusion. Usually don't you write the conclusion. You can't even write overview, overall, comma, as presented. You can't even write this one, as is presented the same. It's the same as overall, no problem. But if you write at the end, write overall or to conclude, no problem. But usually it's better not to write conclude, because you're not really giving a conclusion, your opinion. People of the world spend most of their amount for their food, and more than half. See, people of the world spend most of their amount on food, and more than half of the population. Say food. Is it right here? Food. You see, 40% on food. Here, what stands out in Asia? World population. The Asia is what? The biggest one. In America, only 28% they live in Asia. Here, what stands out? Europe, they're the highest consumption, in Europe and Asia. That stands out. They're mentioning that people of the world spend most of their amount of food. More than half of the population lives in Asia. They cover the Asia, whereas more than half of the resources are consumed by the USA and European people. So the most outstanding feature of all this has been mentioned in the main idea. Now what I'm going to do, you haven't proved it, you have just written. Now you're going to prove that with data here. With data, you are going to write it. And there, you're going to what? You're going to take from the data from where? You'll be taking data from here. You'll have to prove it now. Let's read it.
Sir, what about the first line? People of the world spend most of their amount for their foods, but in the chart, people spending on others in the first chart, 40%.
Oh, okay. So let them mention.
Food is 24%.
I think other means there are so many factors, in individually. Others means we are not sure about others.
Yeah, others
others, there could be so many things, thousands of things. So individually, this one is the biggest one, definitely. Others means many things, many compilation of hundreds. So others, if you say that others, nobody would understand what is others. Get my point?
Yes,
if they say that others, who can guess? Nobody can guess. So according to the first five, people of the world on an average spend 24 on the foods. In clothing, they spend 6%, while this person is double for housing and triple of the transport. The remaining 40% is the contribution of the others categories. Okay, now you could have even written 3 paragraphs, no problem, as long as it makes sense. This one, the second. Now let's move on to the second one, second paragraph. The second pie chart shows that more than half of the world populations live in Asia, while Europe has both 14% of the total population. One-tenth of the world population. Instead of think about say 12%, 10%, they have used this vocabulary, 1/10. Population lives in Africa and rest of the 5. I will send you a material, a compilation where all vocabulary, related vocabularies, you'll find it. Read it, you'll have to read it. Then you'll have to use it. Read that. I will be sending a few materials tonight. Please read those in other places of the world. Finally, the third pie chart shows that though there's 60% of the world resources as consumed, you see you're comparing population. Europe, through their percentage, is only 28% in total. The remaining 40% are shared among the rest of the 70% world population. You say it's more about they want to see whether you can compare it. You just can't say America has 28%. You can't just say that Africa 10%. No, you should say that whereas America and Europe 10, Africa, are a developing continent, has only 10%. Whereas, just come up with comparison. Whereas Asia, having, 50% of the world population, they only consume what? Population, they only consumes, okay, within that. So definitely it's a relatively very small amount. So you'll have to, as long as you can write, as long as it's correct, you can't write something that doesn't make sense. So this is I'm not saying this is the best, but this is pretty good. If you can write this one, you'll get good marks. Check it out how they have written it. And then what I will suggest, check it out, read it out, and write it any line, page. Don't read it, write it by yourself and send it to me through email or anything. Take a picture, I will check it. I'll check it and I'll give you what kind of score you'll get. Get my point? Okay. So why don't you go for another map? So how do you write a map? So we will check out, this one. See, this map, how to write this map. We're going to check out how to write. I'm not going to take much, 9:15. We'll be finished by 9:15. Okay, 9:15. How to write the map lesson. Task 1 maps, introduction. This guide is, okay, different kinds of map. Structure, describing specific changes, describing general changes, describing location. I will send a few more how to guide. This is one, this is a very short one. If you want to read further how to write and also you can even check it in the internet as well. Just write how to write a map. You'll get links. You'll also be able to learn some new vocabulary that will help you deal with task 1 maps question. ask a map in this type of question is becoming increasingly popular, and in many opinions, the easiest one to score high marks if you're prepared. Different kind of maps. What? 3, describe the map in the present day. They'll just give a picture and you'll have to describe. You don't have to compare. Describe 2 maps, as in the map, and 1 in future. The present one, there's a addition, there's a, you give it to an architect, he gives another redesigned one, and you compare the present one with the redesigned one. Describe 2 maps, 1 in the past and 1 in the present. Today's Dhaka's map with that of, say, 30 years back, Dhaka's. The first kind is very rare, the only one map. Usually they ask you to compare. It's only you to use the present simple, and it is, you just write the present simple tense for any comparison to be made. You're not comparing with the present and the past. The second kind does not come up occasionally. Second kind what? The present and the future usually would require you to use present and future tense. This kind of question is normally about the future development of a town or city. It requires the same vocabulary as the other 2 vocabulary. The third one is the common and will be the main focus. It's the most common. Present and the past will normally be shown the 2 maps as above and asked to select and report the main features and make comparison where relevant. We will be obviously be using both present and past tense to describe the maps and how the towns were developed. Also, as this is a man-made process, this will use the passive. Passive. It was constructed. It was developed like this. See, check out. This is 2. This is present, and this was in 1995. So this is present. Say, think about 2020, and this one. Say, how many years back? 25 years back. 25 years. You see the changes. Car park is a change. Farmland now is a golf. Forest is wiped out, and tennis court. All these, more housing. So how do you describe structure? To describe 2 maps, I advise my students to follow a 4-paragraph structure. Paragraph 1. Paragraph said, the first one, what is this? What is this? You know what is? These are 2, 1 given. One is 1995 and another one is showing that of 2022. So, do pictures of a town, a particular town. Overview. Overview means to make 2 general statements about the map. Usually, you should describe the map generally. General means we can say big changes first, then a smaller changes between the 2 maps. You can say big difference could, if they're countryside and in the next one you see that, big buildings have come up. So you might say that we can clearly see a big change in infrastructures. Now that's a general. Then you see, you could ask yourself following question to identify general. আগে কি ছিল কৃষিকাজ বেশি হতো কান্ট্রিসাইড ছিল ওটা এখন শহর হয়ে গেছে it's a general one ছোট ছোট বলছে না কিন্তু একটা হয়তোবা একটা ওখানে হয়তোবা 4টা গাছ ছিল 4টা গাছ কেটে একটা বাড়ি বানিয়েছে এইটা না ফার্স্ট বলতে জেনারেল বড় মাপে বড় দাগে যে চেঞ্জগুলো the big changes. Residential. Is there any less on countryside? There are more or more trees. There are lots of trees, and all those have been cut down. I don't see trees. 30 years back, there were mostly trees. Now, mostly houses. Big changes. But change is dramatic. Was it a dramatic change or negligible? It is general. Were there any major improvement in infrastructure? How the buildings and leisure facilities change? There's no leisure activities previously. Now you have stadium, you have gymnasium, you have tracks. So those are the biggest changes. Main body, it all a 3rd paragraph. Main body above 4th paragraph, 4. First, second, third, and 4 paragraph. 3 or 4 sentences about the specific change have occurred. We'll check it out. You can group information 3 or 4 by the time the location, and we'll check it out. Look at the sample. How to describe specific changes? Specific changes, choto change, the small changes. The ability to describe is crucial in answering this kind of question. The various feature will normally label to you. They will give you in the below. I will list various building and features. What are those? See, buildings. These are the keywords you must use. Demolish, knock down, flatten, renovated, build. You might say that the old houses were demolished. The old houses were knocked down. They were flattened, in order to give way to big multi-storied building, 20-storied buildings. They're small houses. They were converted. They were modernized. Example, the government demolished the industrial estate and developed a sports ground. They removed the shops and replaced it with skyscrapers. A port was constructed. The factory demolished and relocated. The old warehouse were replaced. This language you'll have to use. These are the vocabulary you'll have to use. The factory was converted. The trees and forests cleaned, clear cut. The trees were cut down, chopped down, removed. And in place of that, new what? A museum or new houses were built. Cut down. The forest was cut down and replaced with a shopping center. The trees were cut. These are the language you'll have to use. Make sure it's not everyday language. Roads and bridges constructed, built, expanded. The main road was extended. The road you see, and new bridges are built over. Leisure facilities open, set up, develop. A state park was set up. It is set up. These are the word for park. Park was developed beside. How to describe general trend? Which are specific chilo. As this is a question, you must write overall, but a big change, main change. Below, over the period, the area witnessed dramatic change. It's a big change. We are mentioning big change. From 19 to 2000, the city center saw spectacular development. It general. The village changed considerably over the time. During 10 years, the industrial area was totally transformed. You see, over the past 20 years, the residents were totally reconstructed. Over the time period, old docks were totally redeveloped. Between 90, old houses were rebuilt. Central. These are the words. Acha, pick 2 or 3, not every. There will be an overview paragraph. I'm going to check করব. The more, how to describe location. এই যে এইগুলো use করতে হবে. To the left, to the right. এর থেকে better হলো north, south, east, west. What you're going to see here? If you don't have, you'll have to. One thing you can do. You see here, NEWS. If it is not mentioned, why didn't you write it? Write it in your script, and according to sometimes this information is there, sometimes it's there, but sometimes it's not. Why did you write it? And right, I normally advise my students to draw the symbol. This is the symbols on the question. If they say to the forest south, south of the river, a golf course was constructed. To the north of the airport, the house in the southwest, you see, town was demolished. The green forest was redeveloped as a park. The airport in the center of the city was relocated to the east-west. This is very popular preposition. Dramatic changes took place in the city center. It is surrounded by trees. This is the preposition from on. So I will send you another one. There you will find more information. Lots of information, 50 or 60 pages long. Everything is there. But the bottom line you'll have to read. Now let's see how to write, how we can solve it. You can solve it. Let's see how to solve it. This one. This one is the solve. This is the solve. This one, Princeton, 1990. Many changes. There were houses, now blocks of flats. There were cafe and park. Instead of that, now they have hotels and golf. Theater, instead of a theater, now they have cinema. Shops, shopping. Trees, instead of trees, now have techno park. Bank, I have a restaurant. The school is same. You see, the school is same. Blocks of flats, what are same? Hospital is same. Library same. These are the things. You can even mention this one, the ones those are. So how can you write it? Let's see. How can we write it? Let's see. What could be a good way of writing? Let me read it first. The map. This is what the main idea. This is the main idea about here. This one, the introduction. The map shows the development that took place in Princeton over a period of 22 years between 1990 and 2000. You must write it. Paraphrase it. You'll have to paraphrase. You can copy it from anywhere. This is the main idea. This is the main idea. See here. That's overall. It is clear that Princeton underwent. You see, this is clear that Princeton underwent dramatic transformation of the becoming noticeably less green. And this is what this is overall. They're not mentioning any specific because so many changes took place. So overall, what was that? Dramatic. So when they're talking about dramatic, I understand there was a big change. How it was a dramatic is ing structure. You see, it's a very nice structure. Becoming noticeably less green means you have more built up. More built up means construction, cement, no trees, nothing like that. Now I will go to one. The only places that remain the same, Princeton over the period, what is school. This is an exception. School. The playing fields in the south of the town, for example, were replaced with flats. Secondly, the houses in the west of Princeton were also made larger and factories are constructed. One by one, I'm mentioning it. Furthermore, the cafes and the park east of the highway, see, east of the highway, made way for a hotel, made way. This is another use of made way means allowed. Hotel land, while the theater and shop became a cinema and supermarket, respectively. The bank, located high west and north of the, were converted into the restaurant, and trees in the southwest of the town were cut down to make way of technocrat. One further development was the expansion of the hospital located. So it's 151. This basically not a general rule. You can even one thing. Say, think about hospitals. All those that hasn't changed. You can just write one paragraph for that. These three remain the same. The ones, think about. You can group it together as well. You know, all buildings. If there are two buildings, two constructions, put it together. This one, or even you can. There's no general rule as long as you don't have to write everything. The most important one. Basically, there's no general rule for that. You can even talk about all the leisure activities, theater. If there is a stadium, together, put it together in one paragraph. Don't make too many paragraphs, but together. Firstly, only talk about the leisure activities, you know, when you make leisure activities. Another one, only the housings, or the housing, the apartments, the row houses. The other one, factories, banks, together, no problem, as long as it makes sense. Don't write scatteredly, just whatever comes in your mind, don't write it. Check out all, there are lots of examples. I can give you examples as well, 10 together. Read it out, understand how to write, and we'll see. It's not very difficult. It's not very difficult. Check it out, don't say it, and rewrite it. If you don't write, this is also another way of practicing. Read it out, you write it. If you don't write, you don't develop that sense. You don't understand how much time it takes to write a task one. You must write. At least you read 20 of them, but write 5 of them. Other than in the real exam, you don't understand how much time really understand. Read it, try to match it, and try to understand it. Huh? Okay, it's not very difficult, and I will send you more videos as well together how to write this one. So if you want to read those, read it or see the videos and understand it. Get it? There's no basic, very particular rule about writing a task. This kind of maps. Okay, that's it for today. Check it out. I'll send you through email. Read it out, see the videos, and I'll send you examples as well. 5 or 6 of these examples. Read it out. Hopefully you'll understand. Okay.
Okay, sir. So, can we leave?
Yes, please. No problem. Those
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So another friend from mine from Turkey just joined. Her name is Suraya. She is here by the name of SRYY.
Oh, that one. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I was just wondering, because
yeah, she is also want to take part and participate in lELTS exam in future. So I invited her. So she also joined.
Okay. So let me up. Okay. So so we covered the reading today, and we just kind of covered, 2 tasks 1 And day after tomorrow, we'll be doing a GRE. We'll have a GRE session, and we'll be having a vocabulary from 7 to 7:30 or 7:45. Then we'll do the other stuffs, reading and everything. And after that, the next following day, we'll have another session for IELTS. So this is how we are going to do. And if you have any individual problem, just you can even write me through email. I can then get on, or for smaller session, we can even meet on Zoom, individual Zoom as well, if need be. Don't worry about that. Okay, any question, guys? Any question, any kind of question? Just after the class, I'll be sending you materials. Read it out. Hopefully you will, I'll give you some compilation. So hopefully that will give you a better understanding. Anybody? Anybody? Any question? Anybody, any question, please? Anybody? Is the timing okay? Is the timing okay with you?
Yeah, the timing is okay, sir. May we have the PDF? Just
yes, I'll send you.
After.
Just immediately after the class?
Yeah. Okay, can you just make it, all the PDF in a simple form, like task 1? Yeah, in the task 1 PDF, we might find all the maps, diagrams, and other pictograms as well. Yeah, it would be better if
okay. I will send it like that. So today we covered this too, and I'll try to send you materials related to whatever we have covered. Check it out. Check it out after the class. Within the 1 or 2 hours, I'll be sending those. I'll be compiling it and I'll be sending it. Hopefully. And if you have any question that, yes, I need that one, why did you send me an email? Sometimes I won't be able to send everything. I have almost everything, almost, and lots of information, materials, different materials. So sometimes if I send everything, you'll get confused. That could be a big problem. Just email me. I'm sending you emails. Get back to me through email. Okay.
I'm Freya from Turkey.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for this lesson.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Hope to see you. Anybody will be doing GRE as well? Tomorrow you'll be having a GRE class. We'll be having a vocabulary class from 7 to 7:30 or 7:45. And we are going to have an exam on Saturday. If you keep on reading the vocabularies, that we can do. That we can do on Saturdays. Okay. So any questions? Anybody? Any questions?
Sir, will we have more reading module in future? I mean, I think
every day we'll have a reading module, and one day we'll have no listening, but I'll be sending a listening module to you on every day. You can do it at home. I'll be sending the link, the audio link, and the PDFs. Do it at home. That way, it doesn't really help much to do it online. Okay, so but I'll be sending you every material, all the materials. So just check out the materials what I send every day, and I think it's going to be very helpful.
Thank you, sir, for your
any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any more questions? Okay. So if you have questions, you can even contact me through email. I'll be happy to respond to that. Okay. Thank you. Hopefully, see you tomorrow during our GRE class. Tomorrow it starts at 7 sharp. Thank you. See you. And those are from what? You're from Turkey. Turkey, that's a welcome. Hopefully, we'll find more students from foreign country joining our classes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's finish it.